to be working on Ho Hey by the Lumineers, and this song is in the key of C, which means that we don't have to worry about any sharps or flats, and we're going to be working with the chords that are commonly used in C, which is our C major chord and our F chord. We're actually going to be using a little bit different position for our F chord on this one, and then our A minor and our G chord, and those are the ones that you're going to be seeing quite a bit. So let's get started with the intro, and all we're going to do for the intro, right hand is going to be in that C position, thumb on C, next finger on D, E, F, and pinky on G. Left hand, pinky is going to be on the C, D, E, F, G. And what we're going to do, we're going to play a C chord with both hands, like that. And then our next movement, I'm going to show you with one hand at a time so you can see this really well. But all we're going to do is just slide up. We're going to keep our pinky on C. And you're going to use, instead of playing the E right here and the G right here, you're going to play C, F, and then move your thumb up to A. And you're going to play those three notes. So the only finger that's having to move out of that position is that thumb, just moving up one. Your pinky is still playing the same note as you were in the C chord. Your middle finger is just moving from E to F, and then your thumb is sliding up from G to that A. So when you play it, it's going to sound like this. Then you're going to move up and back down. And then same thing with the right hand, but the only difference here is because your thumb is on C, E, and G, you're going to use pinky on A. Now this one's a little different because it's going to be more comfortable in this one if you just go ahead and slide your middle finger and your pinky up on the right hand to play that, and then back down instead of trying to do that. And the reason why is because it's much easier to get your pointer finger and your thumb to do a split like that than your pinky and ring finger there. That would be kind of uncomfortable. So on your right hand, you're going to go ahead and slide these fingers up and play the C with your thumb, the F with your middle finger, and the A with your pinky, and then just move everything back down. So you'll probably want to go through that a few times before you try and add anything else with that. Now the good news is this is one of the more tricky parts of the song. So once you get this down, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. So you're going to start on the C here for the intro, and you play C, C, C. And this is a hybrid of an F chord, and then back down to that C. And that's the intro. So here's what's going on during the verse. Your left hand is going to be keeping that pattern going, and we'll get back to the left hand here in a second, but it is going to continue that same pattern as the intro. The only difference is you can leave out a couple, just play the C, C, and then you're moving up to that chord and back down. So that's going to be pretty simple. Your right hand, the melody line, you're actually going to be able to keep your hand in position to follow that melody line. So you're going to start on the G right here. So that's G, move down to E, D, C, E, G, E, back to G, so you can see you're just staying right there on that C, D, E, and G for that melody line there. So I'm going to go through it again a little bit faster this time, but we're going to start on the G, 3, 2 on the E, 2 times on D, then down to C, D, E, G, E, back up to G, then C, and that's the verse. Now, when you get the hang of that, you can add a couple of extra notes in that just to increase the difficulty and make it sound a little bit better. When you start on that G, you can also play the C right there, and then just play. Then here you can add the C, and then back to adding the C when you go back to G. So you can see we're just adding a couple of notes, but it's giving it a little something extra. And then for the second half of your first verse, you're going to want to move your right hand up an octave. And play through that there. Same thing, and then you'll move down for your chorus. So here's what your left hand is doing during that part. And remember I said it was doing the same thing as the intro. You're playing that C here, F, back down to C, and that's pretty much the whole time. And then it changes up after that part and does something different on the left hand. But the first part of that verse is just going to be very simple here. C, up to F, back down to C. And when you're first learning it, if you want to leave out the middle one of those, you can play C and just hold there, F, C, instead of going C, C, having that little extra rhythm thing to worry about. So I'll leave that up to you and how you feel like you're doing with keeping that left hand going. You can start with the simpler way and always work your way up to where you're using both of those little rhythm patterns there. So when you combine your left and right hand, you're gonna play 1, you're going to move your left hand down to an A minor position, but you're going to leave out the third right there. You have the 1, the 3, and the 5 of that chord. You're going to leave out the middle note and just play the A and the E. Then you're going to move down just one note to the G and the D. And then you're going to come back up and play the F, and then back down to the C. And there's some tricky timing on that I'm going to show you. So when you're coming out of that part, then when you get back to the C, you're going to try and have your left hand up here, and you hit these two at the same time, and then just move down there. So again, that's gonna look like this. And that'll take a little bit of practice to get there, but you'll have it as long as you work on it slowly first. Remember, just work on it as slow as you need to get the timing right, coming back into there, and then you can always speed it up as you go because it's only going to get easier and easier. Your fingers are going to learn what to do, and that's going to be the time that you want to start speeding it up a little bit. So to start with the chorus, I'm going to show you two different ways to play the left hand on this. The right hand melody line is pretty simple, but the left hand can get a little tricky as far as the rhythm pattern that's going on. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do it, and you can pick the one that's most comfortable for you at this point. And then remember, if you start with the one that's a little bit easier, you can always work your way up to the one that's a little more difficult. So here's what's going on with the right hand. You were here with your thumb on C, pinky on G. Now you're moving down here where your thumb is on A because we need finger 4 to be on this D. And your melody line is going to go like this. So it's D, E, D, C, A, D, E, D, C, G, C, 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 G, E. So you're having to jump around a little bit there. It's and then you can always add that extra little note in there. I would suggest jumping when you're on that C, repeating it. See, I can just kind of move that finger there. Then you move back down. Go back here. And then you're back to C. So that's pretty much it for the right hand, and that's actually the trickiest part, is getting the little jump right here. Then go back. And you'll want to go ahead and move your thumb back there while you can, because then you go back to that intro part. Then you're back to the second verse. And you're back there to the second verse. So let's take a look at what the left hand can do with that right hand. So I want to show you first of all the way that's going to be a little bit easier. You can play the melody line here, and you're going to go down to the A with your thumb, and your A minor chord position on your left hand, pinky here, middle, thumb, and then take out that middle note, because we'll just clean it up. If we're doing it this way, we're going to leave out that middle note. So you're going to play, and then move down to G, up to C, and you're just doing the 1 and 5, back to the C chord here, F to C. So I'm going to play this pattern again, and I want to show you where the left hand is going to come in exactly. So you're going to play these notes on the right hand, D, E, D, C. Then when you go to play the A, that's where your chords come in, and you're just playing quarter notes there. Then move down to G. Move up to C. Then we'll go back and do that again a little bit faster. So you can give yourself a little breather in between that G and the C there to move up So you're going here. Back down to the A minor. Then you're back to the C chord, F, C. And that's your chorus. So that way it's a little bit easier to play it, just kind of driving those quarter notes there. Now the other way, if you've tried that and you're feeling very comfortable with that, what you can do is actually add the 3 back in, but break up your chord. So instead of playing it all together like this, you can play the bottom note first, and then the top 2 notes on the next beat. And then up to the C, right here. And then do the same thing. So that one's going to take a little more coordination and practice to get the timing right. So when you speed it up and you add those both together, then back up to the F and down to the C. So then the only other part of the song we have is the one where the melody line goes. And then here, C, G, E, D, and then back up, C, G, E, D, C, E, and then you're back to and then it ends up there. So while the right hand is playing this part, the left hand is going to be on F. So I'm going to show you 2 different things that the left hand can do on this part as well. You can go with the bottom, the 1 and the 5 to your chord, just like you did if you were doing the slightly easier version of the chorus. And you can play and just drive the chord there. Then up to C, then you're going to stay at G there, then back to F, and then you're back to there. So if you're playing the version of the chorus where you're just driving the 1 and the 5 of the chord, you probably want to play that part the same. Now on the other hand, if you're playing the chorus like this, and breaking up your chord, when you get to this part, I'm going to show you something a little trickier, but it's going to sound the best for this. So take your pinky and put that on the F, put your pointer finger on C, and your thumb on this F. So you've actually got an octave reach here, and your pointer finger here. And what you're going to do is just jump back and forth. Then you're going to slide everything up 1 to where your pinky is on G, your pointer finger's on D, thumb is on G. Then when we go to the C, you'll just go back to the normal C major position here. So you're only doing the stretch on 2 chords there. Up to G, and then C, back to the F, up to G, down to F, up to G, C, down to A minor, G, and then back up to the C. So when you put that together with your right hand, this version is going to sound like this. And then you're going to go back down to F. And then you're back to there. So that is two different ways that you can play this song. One is a little bit easier, just driving the chords. And remember, if you're doing that, just take out the 3. And the other way is the left-hand pattern of taking the bottom note of the chord and then playing the top 2 notes separately. So here's like your A minor chord, and all you're doing is breaking up that pattern there, breaking up that chord. Back to a C chord here, you're just breaking it up just like that. And then you just put it all together and you're back at the C. And you can end the song the same way you started on this pattern. And that's pretty much it. Ho Hey by the Lumineers. Remember, if you need any help, feel free to contact us anytime. We'll make sure that you're playing this song in no time.